Hey guys, Rob from Georgia here with you, aka VHS82 apostrophe, with episode number 30 of my ongoing Italy's Holocaust, looking at the films really specifically from 1979 to 1994, compliments of one Jim Harper and his Italian horror reference guide. We've hit a couple already that in this 30 that he, for whatever reason, chose not to cover. Recently, Killer Crocodile, I don't think he covered Alien 2 on Earth. Pretty sure I covered that. But he did cover this one. Of course, how can you not cover perhaps the mother of all Jaws ripoffs? The Last Shark, Enzio G. Castellari, maybe that's it. Castellari. You know, I'm Eagles Over London from 1969, The Inglourious Bastards from 78, The Bronx Warriors, 1990, The Bronx Warriors from 1982. It is one of the contributing writers I noticed was Ramon Brava, who did the principal underwater photography with the shark sequence in yes, Zombie. And our cinematographer did the Killer Fish from 79 and Ruggero Deodato Cut and Run. So that's, you've got some people on here working. And let me just, it is a Jaws ripoff. So much so that apparently when this movie was first released theatrically, 1980, I think, or 81, I'm not sure when it was released U.S. I think the standard release is 81. So, but it got a theatrical release, and then it didn't take long for Universal to sue the crap out of them and have it banned from the United States because of its just the parallel to Jaws, a little too close for comfort to those wonderful execs at Universal, and that is a shame because this movie boasts of quite a bit of things, but one being Vic Morrow is in this thing as Ron Hammer. He's our Quint character, and it is a Jaws setup, man. You've got Peter Benton character, who is like our I guess maybe sort of written like a Peter Benchley character. James Franciscus, and who'll play his wife Gloria by Michaela Pignatelli, their daughter Jenny, Stefania Girolami Goodwin, and then of course Mayor Wells. So you've got to have a mayor here, right? And the regatta, I don't think that's the word they use in this. It is a sailboat race, must go on. He's running for election. I think it's election, not re-election. I think, or maybe re-election. And his son, Billy Joe, by Gianmarco Larry, if that's how you say it exactly. If I butchered it, apologies. And so basically what you have here is the opening scene, and the Angelus brothers, who do the music score, which is, let's just say, with this score, it's the kind that gets lodged in deep and very fast and never gets out of your head. I mean, and some of you know what I'm talking about. It's one of those scores. Once you've heard it and it's in there, good luck getting it out. So, the opening scene is these kids are getting ready for the annual sailboat race, or it's not really sailboat, it's windsurfing race, and so you got a windsurfer out there who's just out there doing his thing, and Shark is certainly kind of circling him, and then eventually, just as our title sequence is about to hit, hits him hard, knocks him high up in the. Actually, that is really goofy and cheesy, okay? And I give that to anyone. I get it, okay? Because it's like a dummy or something, and it goes straight up in the air. And that happens a couple times. One where there's a guy on a boat, and literally when it goes straight up, it is the goofiest thing ever. But I'm gonna say this: in that opening, it's sort of like our girl going swimming in scene at the beginning, except it's a windsurfer out there, right? he feels a tug, a jarring tug on the base of his windsail, and he casually just sort of looks down, and when he does, there is a gaping piece, man, just missing, and you could tell it's just shark teeth. And I'm going to tell you, that was extremely effective. There are some really effective moments in this movie. Some compliments of Vic Morrow's character, who really is almost kind of like a darker vision, if that's even possible, of Quint. And Mayor Wells is he's not. I mean, it's like he's sort of he's more reliant on the fact that there are people capable of killing this thing, and so unlike the mayor from Jaws, will go get the shark, kill it, because this windsurfing event somehow is tied into his fundraising for his election, and it's an important event, and he doesn't want to seem looking weak, but our shark will make an appearance at this windsurfing event, and that will set into motion a lot of other things, which I find extremely fascinating about this movie. I'm just going to say this, man. If this was an Amazon made-to-order film, I can't remember how much. I should have looked. I can't remember how much it cost. I don't think it was very much. But I'm just going to say, this movie, every time I stinking watch this movie, grows more and more and more. There are certain sequences that are, yes, really super cheesy. You got kids slowly going to the score, into the surf. And you've got stock footage of at least a couple different sharks that are nowhere near. They're not great whites, and they're nowhere near as big as our shark in question. It really does look goofy. And then you see them running out of the surf, and it's just, I don't know. There's a lot of moments like that. But then there are moments when the mayor's son decides to take it into his own hands and take his dad's yacht out, and him and his friends go, including Benton's daughter, who is involved in a almost extremely horrific tragedy. She does, I think, lose, oh man, a leg. Yeah, I think she loses her leg in the event. They go out there and they're running bait off. They got a shotgun, and they think they're just going to kill this thing. And she ends up getting, the boat gets jarred, and she, of course, falls. And before they can completely get her up, the shark sort of swings around and is able to get her leg, which, then you have the scene with her dad and everything. And so there's real strides emotionally to do some things that are a little bit different. It's sort of like you got Jaws and Jaws 2 sprinkled in here to affect, but then you have a film that really is trying to sort of be its own sort of self, but fully aware that it's under the shadow of Jaws, I guess. I'm just trying to, you got this great scene, and it is goofy, but it is still cool, where you got Benton and Hammer down scuba diving down, and I'm not even sure what the stupid plan was, how they were going to, they had explosives, and they were going to kill the shark somehow. And I don't know why they go into this cave, but the shark follows them, and then they try to do something, and the shark ends up ramming the side enough times where boulders and stuff fall, and so they basically get buried alive in this underwater cavern system. But because they have explosives, they're able to explode their way out of there and get out of there. But it's like scenes like that. You didn't have that in Jaws. You didn't have anything like that in Jaws. You didn't have kids just go try to hunt this thing down. Of course, then the mayor ultimately, and I see I lost my thing. The mayor decides that when Benton's daughter, and see, that's the other thing, where the mayor is in Jaws, golly, why can't I even think of a stupid name right now? My mind's still wrapped in this. You remember the scene in Jaws in the hospital after Brody's son is not attacked, but there is that attack in the pond, and his boy's in mild shock in the hospital. And, the mayor's still in there. I mean, just like, kind of like, and Brody's just like, dude, you got to sign. He forces him to sign off the waiver so they can get Quentin to, go kill this thing. In this movie, Mayor Wells, in the aftershock of Benton's daughter having lost her leg, he takes it upon himself. And it's funny because he foreshadows it earlier when he actually says to his, I think his campaign publicist or whatever, what do you expect? I mean, what do you want me to do? You want me to go out and kill a shark myself? And that's exactly what he'll ultimately try to do. It's, again, interesting little wrinkles through this film. And ultimately, you do have an interesting resolution, I'll say, where Benton, at the end, when they finally are able to deal with this shark in hand, it's just, I don't know, it's a movie that the first time I saw it, whenever that was, I really didn't think much of it. I don't think the score was so had me laughing in stitches. Just had me in stitches. Some of the stock footage had me in stitches. But as I've grown to be a real connoisseur and lover of Italian cinema, I'm starting to appreciate more and more stock footage, especially when it's used to better effect. It's not used that great in this movie. Now, there is some stock footage of great whites that is used pretty good, integrated in. And then there's others that it's like, you just wonder in the editing room, what were you thinking? I mean, I don't know. But the Angelus score is definitely ought to be noticed for being original. It is pretty good. You've got the boat that's towed in just like in Jaws. Trying to think, man. And I'll say this too. You know, with Ruggero Deodata's Cannibal Holocaust, how it's sort of a shot across the bow at journalism run amok. You got an interesting scene in here during the windsurfing race where this camera operator, journalist, I think he's a TV journalist or whatever, he gets an actual attack right on film. Does a close-up and everything. And I'm telling you, dude is just, I mean, he's just sick with glee that he is somehow, this is going to be, now remember, this is before social media and all that junk, right? This is way back in the day. But he thinks somehow that this footage of a person actually being attacked and eaten is going to somehow win him an award or something. I don't know. It's just that level of antagonism towards journalism run amok that I'm starting to see more and more in Italian cinema, and I just wonder if something was really in the water there. I know Deodato's film really was a shot across the bow. And this one, you just get a little hint at it, right? It's interesting. It is interesting. Vic Morrow, you know, what can you say about him? He's so freaking awesome in this movie. It just, I'm trying to think. Yeah, this shark, man, the mechanical shark, the shark they built, at moments when it comes up out of the water, does look pretty frightening. And then there are times it comes up and it's just like kind of thing. You just wonder what. So it's got a lot of mixture, I mean, of things going on here. And it's, if you see the Vic Morrow picture, I don't know if you can see that towards the bottom right or left, however it is for you. And he's looking at the what's left of the windsurfing board, which is also interesting. Pieces of it keep floating up or washing up in different areas, and so that just goes to the catastrophicness of this attack just on this one person and this shark, man. Now they try to, in order to have the wind sailing contest go on, they put up the cages and everything, but nothing's going to stop this shark, and this shark is just going to have its way until it's destroyed. And so I mean, it's interesting. So I mean, I'm about to hit the 15-minute mark. The Last Shark, whatever you think, you know, however you feel, this just demands multiple watches. And I really, truly, look, I love Jaws. Jaws is my #1 film. And now it interchanges with The Thing at 1 and 2. But Jaws, really, I saw that in the theater when I was 5. Jason, from over there at Horrific Nightmares, tells a story that his dad, he was lucky enough to see this in the theater before it got banned. And how lucky is that? I did see Jaws in the theater when I was 5. It's 75 though, so I mean, I can hang my head up on that hook, so to speak. But what a phenomenal movie! And I'm glad Amazon does this service, because this movie really does need a real proper release with a film historian's commentary. It really does, and maybe Criterion is maybe because of the history of it being banned and everything, and just the relevance of it in terms of the whole era of Jaws ripoff films. It really does need somebody. I really hope and pray somebody from Criterion sees my video. I don't know. This really, Criterion, I'll really do this just for the historical, just the historicalness of it. Get a historian on there and do a really good commentary, and just the whole release theatrically, banned, and just the years after and all that junk. But I am glad I have this. But man, someday there's got to be a better release, man, with some great stuff in there if it's even possible. So, Italy's Holocaust. I dare not say where I'm heading in number 31. I'll just say I probably should have done this a long time ago, but I feel like 31 is a good spot for it. And I'll just say this film is extremely near and dear to my heart, and there is absolutely nothing cheesy about this film. So chew on that for a bit. As always, man, we leave these things off with Go Bills.
This is not a dream. Not a dream.
We might be useful.